Hello, everyone. Welcome. I think we might have a couple more trickling in, so we'll wait a few more seconds, I think.
You're good
All
to
right.
go.
Awesome. Thank you, Amanda Ross. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, hello and welcome. I'm Lisa Rozier. I am the Director of Marketing and Sales here with Guidr. And today we have joined with us Guy Raymond. Guy, if you can just wave your hand really quick. He is one of the co-founders of Guidr, here to help answer any of your tech questions, security questions, mindset questions. And if you just want to ask him any type of question, you're more than welcome to. And we also have co-founder Dave Zampano with us, attorney Dave Zampano, also founder of Lawyers with Purpose. And we have Britt Sharon. Britt, raise your hand. Give us a wave. Britt is our product owner of Guidr. And Britt is also an attorney who has been heavily involved in the development of the platform. And I have been part of the whole marketing end of Guidr as well. So today we will be talking about some marketing elements, just new discoveries that, well, I shouldn't say new discoveries, just we've been doing a lot of R&D. As you know, we're just shy of 6 months in the platform, and we're affiliated with a lot of labs. We have also quite a few member law firms that are on the Guidr platform, and we're always getting their input and feedback with regards to their marketing tactics that they're doing to generate leads. Guy is with us. Like I said, mindset and tech. We'll talk a little bit about security features that have been built within Guidr. And Brittany is going to be sharing some features with us, some new features that have just been launched within the platform. So I see some new names. And for those of you that are not on the Guidr platform right now, do you mind just giving us a hand raise so we kind of can see who our audience is? Because it's a nice mix of members and those that are on the platform already and those that are new. Hi, Tim, you're new. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So,
and,
Tim,
and we'd love to see as many of you as possible too. I know a lot of you don't have your videos on, but you have to sacrifice looking at me. So, at least you could brighten up the page by letting us see who you are. It'd be great to meet you all.
So Tim, I'd love to start off the conversation with you. As you all know, this is the Ask Guidr Roundtable, so it's really open forum, relaxed. Yes, we have a scheduled agenda, but we want you, our participants, to be asking the questions, if you have certain thoughts, need clarification and whatnot. So Tim, if you don't mind, welcome. What has brought you to our roundtable today?
Hey, thanks for having me. So I'm an attorney up in New Hampshire. I'm actually on vacation today, so I'm not dressed up. Yeah, I saw. I think I followed Dave on Lawyers with Purpose, and so that's how I came across Guidr, and always interested in this type of thing and expanding my practice in this type of way. So I don't really know much about it, and I just came here interested to hear more.
Awesome. What's your mindset on the digitization of law?
I'm all in.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's where it's going, and for all of us, I think to be profitable in the future, we're going to need to find new ways to deliver our services. So I think this is a great way to do it.
Wonderful. So have you had a chance to go into our demo site? For those of you that are newbies, new times joining us, we do have a demo site that allows you to sample the platform.
Oh, I have not. Oh.
Okay, well, we will absolutely be able to get you set up into the demo platform. And for everyone as well, we also have an e-version of the Digitization of Law, which is a book that Guy and Dave wrote. And it's available for download on our website. And Tom, our sales representative, can also send you a copy of that book. It's a great read, 90 minutes. It's will help you understand the thought process behind
mindset. Yeah, goes to the mindset and really the shift, what's happening in the industry. And Guy talks about what's happening in the tech world. I talk about what's happening in the legal industry. And together we talk about the future, as Tim just said, it's all about digitization.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So hi, Angela. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Is this your first time joining us?
For this, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what made you come to the roundtable?
Well, I was a member, Lawyers with Purpose. I took a step back because I had a baby, and so I am
That's a big
ready
step.
to. What's that?
That's a great step.
Yeah,
Congrats.
that was a big step. So I kind of paused any kind of well, not everything, but paused this portion of my practice because I have a partner. So she kept the other part going while I took leave, and I'm ready to get back. So
That's awesome. Well, thank you
it seems really
for,
interesting. So
absolutely. So before I said, that's kind of like a perfect segue for me to talk about some marketing. But before I do that, any other participants first time that would like to tell us what has brought you, hi Thorpe, what has brought you to the roundtable discussion today? Nope, you're on mute.
There we go. Couple of things. One is I've been with Lawyers with Purpose for, I think, since 2010, and have of course, a very high opinion of LWP and of Dave. And so when this came out, it piqued my interest, and so I'm just here to dip my toe into the water.
Okay, great.
Good
Have
to
you
see
had
you,
a-
Thorpe. I haven't seen
You
you
too,
in a long
Dave.
time.
Your
Yeah.
hair's gotten grayer, as has mine. since I last saw you.
I've been hanging out with Guy.
That's catching.
Have you had a chance to dabble in the demo site, Thorpe?
No, I wasn't aware of that. I have read the book.
Okay.
But I wasn't aware of the demo site, so I am interested in that.
Okay,
Hey,
great.
Thorpe, I'd love to ask you, what stood out for you from the book? Was there anything that you didn't expect or?
Stood out from the book, Dave? I didn't hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, what stood
Oh.
out from the book reading it?
Not really. I mean, you guys were very thorough in going through the whole mindset, the digitization, I can't even speak. Anyway, the coming onslaught of computers, although it's not coming, it's here. You guys did a great job explaining all that, but nothing really stood out. There weren't any surprises other than, I will tell you, when I first heard about Guidr back in the fall, I thought, oh, well, hell no. I don't want to be the guy preparing a $400 will, because my average plan is coming into, thousands and thousands of dollars. But what did stand out then, Dave, is the fact that how it can be a springboard to getting some money, like you say, while you sleep, which I've always been interested in. And then hopefully education for people who maybe have parents or grandparents, or those people continuing to come to you in the future. I have my third son halfway through law school, and when he finishes in a year and a half, he's going to come in and join me.
Nice.
And so I'm concerned about growing the business for him going into the future. And this seems like a very good way to do that.
Great.
Wonderful. Martha, I see you have your hand raised. Welcome.
Yeah, so I was part of Lawyers with Purpose for a while, but it didn't really fit my solo practice. But I was intrigued by this, but I feel like we lawyers are late to the game. I think LegalZoom started, I'm pretty sure it started in California and started in Los Angeles. And I'm currently in Orange County, which is next door, with William Handel on the second largest radio station in the country. He's a lawyer who said you don't need a lawyer to do a living will to advertise them. And with them advertising at $4.99 and being digitized, how I was just curious of how we think we might be able to actually even compete in that space, because they've been doing it for a really long time in that space, and they've got a really big budget for advertising, and have been, they're really ahead of the game. I mean, they seem so far ahead of that game that's kind of ridiculous. And of course,
Yeah.
they've been, I mean, so that's kind of like
Martha, it's great to see you, Martha. I'd love to answer that one, because the answer is we are not going to compete with LegalZoom. What we are going to do is bring a better version of LegalZoom. So the scary part, Martha, that all of us need to pay attention to as lawyers is LegalZoom is promoting that they're about to hit their 5 millionth customer. You notice I said customer, not client, because they're not a law firm. They're a self-help website. That's not even including willsandtrust.com, Will Depot, and all those other hundreds of other websites.
Right.
If you notice with all those websites, Martha, lawyers are left out of them. What they are, lawyers are the scraps at the end. Oh, by the way, if you want a lawyer, click here and we'll connect you with a lawyer. But there's no integration, right? So what Guidr has really done, Martha, is changed and given a new option to the consumer. And what makes, you don't have to compete with LegalZoom, because what we have found is that Guidr is another way to distinguish your law firm in your community. We're going to be marketing Guidr at the national level, but each of the members are really marketing it locally to say, hey, you don't have to go to these self-help websites that are just big computer platforms. You can go to a real lawyer local that you can knock on the door if you have to, and you can get the same, actually better quality documents, and you can get an attorney that will oversee the execution and be able to help you in all other ways. And so Guidr is a new way to introduce your community to working with you in a way that makes them not need LegalZoom. Does that make sense? We are not competing with them. That's not our model. Our model is lawyers providing digitized services, not non-lawyers. I think that's a key distinction.
Yeah, I do see the distinction, but I also see that they, that kind of, even though it scraps, and I know lawyers who work for LegalZoom and for not very long, because it's a horrible job. But between you don't need a lawyer and having explain why people should even use a lawyer, not LegalZoom, it's tough. And of course, they're trying to bribe the state Bar of California to let them practice law. And
well, they already are doing it in Arizona, so we already know
I've heard that.
Yes, in Arizona, and 4 other states have built in the legislature the same thing. So let's not bury our heads in the sand. This is coming. They will be allowed to do it over time in more and more states. So sorry about that. So it's about us getting ahead of the game. And I think the bigger picture, Martha, is that Guidr is much more than just the legal documents. What you'll see in the demo, or when you get the demo site, is there's the legal documents, the will, healthcare, proxy, power of attorney, but then there's also what we call the estate plan advisor, and then there's also the Medicaid opinion letter that we've always had, that people are going to be able to go on digitally, and that LegalZoom does not do any of those 2 things, which we're going to really be able to distinguish ourselves. So it's really about getting in the saddle and redefining what online documents looks like for the consumer.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
And Martha, I'd like to just jump in and let you know one of the things that when you become a Guidr member attorney is you get your unique URL. It's with the platform, and there's a whole entire marketing toolkit that you have access to. So depending on the way that you're currently marketing your firm, if you're doing business to business, synergistic relationships, a little bit of retail marketing, some digital marketing, whatever it may be, you have those tools within your toolkit to integrate into your marketing, and you have access to the marketing team to help you build your plan, your path and plan for implementation. And you can decide if you want to do it yourself or if you want us to help you do it and get it implemented for you. So that's kind of a segue into
Lisa, can I just add one extra point to that?
Absolutely.
For me, there's a whole generation of people that are being brought up on just expecting this kind of service to be served as a digital service. And so it's a whole new market, actually. So, therein lies another opportunity, not just with your existing customers, but with customers that probably won't, in all reality, come to your office and go through the whole kind of process they have to go to and pay for that kind of personal service. Their expectation is different, and it's just the way it is. So there's a whole new market to kind of go out there that I think will supplement the customer base that you already have. So it's not going to undermine it, it's going to add to. And the other point I'd like to make is that it's actually also a kind of you're nurturing future clients, because those clients will grow up, they'll have kids, they'll have more complex needs that a computer can't help with, that where they do need personal service. So you're nurturing future clients. So going to Thorpe's comment before about building a future for his business and his son, this is a great way of nurturing future clients.
Absolutely. The other thing, Dave, I see you.
I was talking away with my mute button on. See,
Yeah,
my wife
saw.
would love that mute button, But what I was going to share about what Guy said, for every attorney on the line today, I want to take what Guy just said and make it real for you. Look at the last year of your practice, 2021. How many clients came through the door, and how many were between the ages of 18 and 45? Okay. Now, if you're like anyone else, less than 1% were between 18 and 45. Guidr is the 18 to 45 market. It's not for the people that are retiring. That's not what Guidr is for yet. Right? And here's the exciting part. The sooner you embrace this, the more application it will have for the rest of your practice. So what Guy said is spot on. It just opens up a whole new door to a whole new clientele you're not typically marketed. Will never walk in your door.
So just to share some, because this is part of a share as well. For those of you that don't know, I also have hands-on, I get into some of our member law firms and experience things with them as well. And I had the privilege this week to go with one of our member law firms into a workplace presentation that was specifically for Guidr. It was about a 30-minute presentation. They were talking specifically about the importance of basic documents, and we dabbled a little bit on trusts. And the demographic in that room was mixed. It was anywhere from a 20-something-year-old up to a 60-year-old. And it was exciting to see that demographic that Dave was talking about, that 20 to 45 demographic, really embrace the Guidr concept. And the questions that were coming out of it, it was that natural progression of, we were getting them interested. They knew the importance of having their basic documents. And as we were talking about why they need to have it, for whatever reason it may be, hands were going up and saying, well, this just happened with my parents. This just happened with my grandparents. What should I do if I, with my kid? It was just, the conversation was amazing. So you could see the residuals already from that younger demographic that is that Guidr type of demo. And they're giving you the red carpet client because their parent or their grandparents need the higher level of plan. So it was really exciting to see that. We are finalizing that presentation, and that will actually be another tool that will be into your toolbox for Guidr.
Yeah, going to local workplaces.
Absolutely. Yep, we're going to look. That's one of, for those of you that are familiar with our Lawyers with Purpose community, we talk about having RMS meetings. We talk about doing community workshops, private workshops, our regular workshops. So we are now dabbling in workplace workshops specifically for Guidr, and just having a qualified, a younger demographic. And it was really exciting to see the responses and the participation. And one person even came up to the presenter and said, I love technology. It's my job. He's a tech guy. He's like, but I need that face-to-face. So I'm just going to come and schedule an appointment with you. So it was, so it was just really exciting to see all of that happen. And so we are tracking the responses of all of that, and we'll be working that into the case studies that we're focusing on, because I know a lot of people on this call and people who have been interested in the platform have been asking about results and what's working for some firms. And with that, we're, like I said, Brittany and I, I think a little bit more than I, have more one-on-one connection with our member attorneys. And we have selected a handful of people that are going to be case studies, and they're finding that it's all different ways that they're generating the lead and getting people interested into the platform. But the biggest thing that we know is that you have to have a path and plan. You can't just put it up on your website and expect things to happen. Have to have a path and plan. And that's why we at Guidr are here to help you build that path and plan. Britt, do you have anything you want to chime in on with that?
Not really. A lot of the same stuff, that going into workplaces, setting up those workshops with businesses, small groups, especially the younger or really busy demographics, has been successful in the members that we've seen.
Yeah, we've seen some people do it at their local churches. We've seen some people, one of our members has an in with the theater community in New York City. So he's been doing it in the theater community. So all kinds of different applications.
Okay, so before we switch over to Brittany showing us some of the tech within the platform, anybody have any questions? Mary Catherine, I see you're here. Thank you for joining us today. Tim, Mike, Angela, anybody have questions? Tom, Joyce? No? Okay. So Brittany, the floor is yours. Let's give, for some of our friends that haven't seen the back end of the platform, you will have all access to the demo site. It gives you a chance to dabble around, see what's within the platform. It gives you a chance to sample some documents. And Brittany, where'd you go? She's off camera. I know she's been having some
Yes,
tech issues, so.
yes. So I am actually, not at home. I am at my parents' house and I am hardwired into the internet here and it's still struggling. So I will do the best I can here. That's why my video's off, trying to conserve a little power here. So I will try to share my screen. If it doesn't work out, maybe toward the end of the demo, I can share my screen again. What I wanted to point out was there's like 2 new features here that were kind of major things that we got into the last release. So this is, if you log in as an attorney, this is what you're going to see. This is our fake environment, so none of these are real. But this is what you would see with your, when a client comes through and completes a plan. One of the things we changed here, we added this column about signing type. So as you may or may not know, there's the option for a self-sign or a supervised sign. It was kind of hard to tell before without diving in and looking what each client wanted to do. So a self-sign is, okay, you approve their plan and then they have their signing instructions and they go sign that on their own with a notary or witnesses according to your state's requirements. Or a supervised signing where they set up to come in and make sure everything's executed properly with your office. So that now is here. You can see the signing type is on here as well. The bigger feature that we added, and I hope this will load when I hit it, is now the attorney actually accepts the engagement agreement. So if I hit this view summary, let's see if this loads. It wasn't loading right before I got on here. You're going to get a summary of your client's plan. It's going to have all of their answers show up here, hopefully. And when you look through here, this is where now you did in your traditional law firm, whatever you're doing to do a conflicts check right now. Oh, it came and went. You can see all of the client's info so that you can say, okay, this wouldn't be a conflict of interest. This would be a conflict of interest. And you actually scroll down and you will select whether to accept or reject the engagement agreement.
Brett, you sound like a
Yes.
robot.
Let me
It's
come
like
back
she's going-
to
it's like the
share
battery's
summary,
dying.
where you either accept or reject the.
Oh, did we lose her completely? Oh dear.
Push
Okay.
the internet too hard.
Yeah. Okay, so Britt, are you there? We may have lost her completely.
Yeah, I think she figured that out by now. She'll be probably buzzing back in here in a moment.
Yeah, let me see, my phone just went off. Maybe she sent me a message.
The other thing too to remember is we can get you access to the demo site and even some of the, there's some walkthroughs of it and things of that nature. Really, what you'll notice, I think if you look at everything, how simple, clean, it's not a lot of stuff. We've kind of narrowed it down. And again, a lot of this has to do with what's the minimum amount of information the lawyer needs. The other thing you guys don't know, but I think we talked a little bit about it in the book, and I think you guys saw the forward was by an ethics attorney, nationally renowned ethics attorney. And the amount of efforts and energy we had to put into the site to make it ethically compliant. And that's, I think, really important for everyone to understand. The whole thing is when somebody goes through and completes their documents on LegalZoom, they get their documents. We can't do that. We have to actually review it. So what we've done is we've minimized that form that Brittany was just about to show you. It gives you the summary of what their choices were. And it allows you to accept their plan or to pause it and reply by an email. As we go forward, we'll be adopting some automated emails. For example, if you see in the fact pattern that an individual who has a minor child did not elect for a minor trust in their will, then we're hoping to have some automated email responses, hey, we're approving this, but you did not set up a plan for your minor child or your disabled child. We really caution you around that. Please contact us to discuss it further. Again, I'm telling you that so you can do it yourself now before you hit the approve, or you just hit the approve and it's automatically then will generate the documents and send them back to the client for their review. Again, really bringing it down, simplifying the information into you so you're not overwhelmed with excess data, but the essential data you need to make good legal decisions for them.
So another thing that I think would be great to discuss today, it kind of goes back to what Martha was talking about with LegalZoom. And Guy, I would love for you to talk more into this. So Guy comes from the tech industry. He rounded the troops up and made this platform a reality. So I think it's important to discuss the level of sophistication and security and tech that has gone into this platform that is just as competitive, if not better, than the LegalZoom platform.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Lisa. So my background is, building software. Not me personally, but the team that I built in Manchester, which is where I'm from in the UK, as well as a team in London and one in New York, actually. And what we used to do was build big platforms with people. I don't know, Weight Watchers was one that we customer on Fifth Avenue. I think they're based. McLaren, the Formula One racing team, for anyone that's into that kind of thing, and people like Disney streaming services, and a ton of clients who need really big platforms that can perform. That's one thing. That look good, so the user experience is really good, and I think we major on that compared to most of the other platforms that are out there, and that's a really important aspect nowadays. People expect an easy journey, and we focus not just on the customer side, which is obviously important because they're paying the money, but actually I think the lawyer side is pretty cool as well. So we've put genuine effort into making your experience pretty reasonable as well. And then going to Lisa's point, the security side, the architecture of the platform, without going into the technical detail, is such that it's built to be secure from the get-go. There's been no shortcuts made with that, and we've made plenty of decisions along the way that just ensures that data is as secure as it can be. Let's face it, NASA can be hacked if people really want to. It's just really difficult, and we've made it as difficult as possible for people to do that. So, people's data is safe, and to verify that, we brought in third-party pen testers. So people who are paid to break into these systems, hack into them, try and get at the data behind them. So we've been certified by this third-party company that we've done everything right, and so that's nice, and we'll continue to do that going forward. We will have pen testers every 12 months on the platform, trying to break it, trying to hack it, doing what they do. And if they can't, then believe me, it's not worthwhile for anyone else trying to, because the data is just not worth the kind of money that it would cost to break into it.
That's all great information. Thank you.
And sorry, Lisa, I was going to say, if anyone's got any other questions about the tech side, if there's any geeks amongst us, then please feel free to fire away.
There's plenty of geeks amongst us, maybe just not tech geeks.
Okay.
Good point, Tom.
Hey, Guy, I've got a question. This isn't really tech related, but how have you seen the platform holding up in terms of handling the traffic that's coming through?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is the platform is built for way more traffic than it processes at the moment. So, I'm confident for actually years to come that it will be perfectly fine. So the kind of architecture we've used is something called a Lambda architecture, and it's the same architecture we've used on far bigger platforms for the likes of Disney and companies like that. So pretty confident it will hold up. I don't think that'll be an issue.
Great, thanks.
Thank you. Mary Catherine, I know that you are you have an attorney, Tim Christofouli, who's also an LWP member, and his law firm has embraced the Guidr platform. And I know you are heavily involved in everything. You work side by side with Britt to get the platform set up, get your page customized. We've worked together on building out a plan. I know Tim had some questions about certain things and worked with Britt again. And I could talk all day about marketing and what we've been able to help our members with, but please, the floor is yours. If you are willing to give us kind of your input and your thought process about it and how Tim felt about it.
Oh, sure. Thank you. Yeah, I've kind of been a part of this since the beginning. Tim was, a part of it, and he kind of said, this is more of your wheelhouse, run with it. So I'm happy to, and I've, tested it, had family members test it, friends, at the beta testing stage. And a few months ago, Tim actually had a vision meeting with a client, with a young couple. They basically just wanted a basic will plan because they just had a child. And Tim thought, well, we could draft these through Guidr, and kind of wanted to see what their experience was. So we had a Zoom meeting with them, and Tim and I watched them create their documents, went right through the whole entire process. Anything that they had a question on or weren't sure of, we took notes, sent them on to Brittany. I think you as well, Lisa. I can't remember. It's been a few months. But it was a really cool experience to see, actually in real time, to actually see the clients and what their experience was, and maybe things that they might have gotten hung up on, which weren't really many, if any at all. And they did it very quickly. It was a great experience for them. And as we haven't marketed it yet, because Tim still has some things that he wants to work through. But we did have one client out of nowhere a few weeks ago pop up. I got an email saying that they had their documents ready for review. It was very exciting because they just came out of nowhere.
That's with no marketing. Wait till the marketing gets going.
Right, exactly. No marketing. They just found us found it on our website. And I sent Tim an email. I said, this is so exciting. It felt like Christmas. So so Tim and I kind of went through and looked at it together. But so it's a great experience. I can't wait for it to get marketed, and for us to have to be able to offer it to more clients, and maybe do like a lunch and learn, like Lisa was talking about, with a specific with different I was thinking about like one of the hospitals in the area, where you get you could have a 25-year-old, you could have a 75-year-old, and just get it, have people, maybe have me show how, the technical piece of it, and Tim explain, the legality, the legal pieces that questions that might come up for folks.
Absolutely. And I think what's interesting is, Mary Catherine, you're not an attorney.
Right.
You're the backbone of the firm. So for everyone that's on this call, to make sure that your team members are within the same mindset as you, and that they embrace the product as much as you, if not more, because that's where the residuals happen. When you have a client that's just came, they had the red carpet deal, and you look at their beneficiaries and maybe they have younger children, you can ask a simple question. Oh, I see Joan is going off to college. She's over 18, so she needs her basic documents. Here, let me give you the option of Guidr, so she's just slightly protected. So there's a lot of opportunities for upsells, but that's not just you as the attorney doing that. Everyone on your team has to be on board and has to be aware of when those opportunities present themselves.
And Lisa, I think there's one other thing too. And this is something that I've had in my own personal experience, literally 6 times in the last 6 weeks. I don't know how you all are, but I get these calls on my cell phone from a family member, from an old friend. The craziest thing, my phone rang last week. It was from you ready for this? My old lawn guy, the guy who did my lawn. And when I called him back, his question, I want you to pay attention to what he said, because I'm going to see a lot of smiles when I say it. Hey, Dave, I was just thinking, it's probably time I get some planning done, but I need something really simple. right? You're all laughing. Why? What does that mean to everybody when they say that?
Cheap.
Really cheap, right? They want something really cheap. So what I really did was I said, okay, Vinny, I said, let me ask you a couple questions. Let's talk basically assets. You know, are you married first? Yeah, no, not married. Okay, great. You got parents? Yes. Okay, how are your parents? Well, they're in their early 60s. They're good. Okay, great. Any major assets? No. Okay, listen, here's what I'm doing, Vinny. I'm going to give you something better than simple. I said, if you come into my office, this plan's going to cost you $9.95. I said, I'm going to send you to my website. You're going to click on the Guidr button. It's going to cost you about $3.90. And I said, let me tell you why I'm going to do it, because it's easy. Now, what I'm going to recommend you do when you get there, I'm going to highly recommend you hit the supervised signing, because most plans fail because they're not executed properly. So the little bit extra for that, I'm going to recommend, even with that, I still think you're going to be at about 30% of what it costs you to come into the office. Now, why would I do that? Why would I turn that guy away? He called me. He wanted to come to the office to do a plan. Let me tell you why I did it. Because what's the likelihood when he gets into my office, he's going to pay $9.95 for that plan? Right? When they start off, I need something real simple. And I said, look, here's the thing. We're still your attorney. You're going to get the review. But here's the thing, Vinny. Here, when this happens and that happens, you need to get back in so we can update it. And I said, and you know what? They started talking about, well, my parents. And so, you know what? Your parents need to do the estate plan advisor. Let them put them to the estate plan advisor, and that'll tell them what they need. Right? So I'm automatically now guiding it. He's a younger guy. He's probably in his mid-20s, mid to late 20s. And now he'll guide his parents to buy. I'm using it. I'm pushing people to the website because it's way easier sometimes to push them to a website than to push them into the office. So I think inside our offices, we have to train our client service coordinators when they start getting pushback to just say, hey, look, would it be easier for you to go online? And really use that right in your office as a deferral. And then, like we said, if we start to do that more often, then Guidr will be able to start adding modifications so that, you know, there could be an interplay between the inner office and referring people out to the Guidr platform. That's the stuff I'm starting to see in my everyday life. It's happened 6 times in 6 weeks.
Guy, I saw that you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to go to Dave's point, then I'll say what I was going to say. But just going to Dave's point, you know, it's almost like it's a no-brainer, because you are going to get people who come to the office that can't afford the fee, or genuinely don't want to travel to it because that's not their expectation. And rather than losing that money, for next to no effort, you just push them towards Guidr, and you still get a sizable fee for really no involvement at all, unless they just want the supervised signing at the end. And that's something that really is quite simple. So rather than lose the business, it's a case of, you know, push them over to Guidr. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? I'll have to come back to you, Lisa.
Okay. That's
gone.
it. Not a problem. Not a problem. Okay, so, and just Britt's gonna give it another shot, but really quick, Angela, I know that you had told us that you had taken some time off, you had a baby. This is a great time. I don't know if you're in like those mom groups or daycare centers or whatever it may be.
Oh, yeah.
This is like perfect opportunity for you. You got the personal relationship. You're able to offer them just basic documents. They're going to enjoy that price point, and then they're sticky because they're going to stay with you forever, because that's what Guidr is. You're their attorney backing them up. So yes, they did it online, but they know that you are the person that when an update has to happen, things in life change. There's your pipeline, your reoccurring funnel of business. So
Yeah,
that's the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Guy?
Lisa, I've remembered. So
Yes.
what I was going to go to Mary Catherine's point actually about the person that kind of came to them because they found Guidr. I think that will be increasingly more common. So as you know, Dave and I are becoming quite proficient podcasters, aren't we, Dave?
Yeah.
we
We've
do
been
our own
on a
every
ton
week.
of other people's, and we have our own.
Yeah. So we're probably doing 2 or 3 a week on average at the moment between us, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we are pushing the message out there at a sort of national level, and we are going to get people coming to the site. Now, when they go to the site, the guidr.legal, then all they'll do is put their postcode. Is it zip code for you guys? I
Zip
can't
code.
remember now. Zip code,
Zip
area
code.
code.
Yeah, zip code.
Put
Zip
your
code.
area code in, your zip code in, and what will happen is that, let's just say it's New York State, for example, it will come up with the closest 5 law firms to where your postcode is. And then it's up to the consumer to choose which one of the 5. I mean, I guess 9 out of 10 times they'll choose the nearest one, because why wouldn't you? But the point is that I think there'll be more and more customers going to Guidr as it becomes more and more well known. So you're going to pick up customers that you just wouldn't have picked up with your own marketing. Now that will supplement your marketing and supplement the stuff that you do for Guidr within your own marketing plan. But it's a nice Billy bonus, as we call it over here.
Absolutely. Thank you, Guy. Any
One other
questions?
thing I was gonna just highlight about that guy. I don't know if any of you are licensed in dual states. I'm licensed in Florida and New York, right? So you ready for this? If somebody's in Florida, anywhere in Florida, in an area, in a zip code in Florida, my name will come up as an eligible attorney in New York. Now, why that's important is, imagine that there's a person on the Guidr website in Florida, and they see a New York attorney that's eligible, and they're from New York, right? It gives them that option, right? So anyone, even though it picks the 5 closest, it normally will pick most within the state as well as backup. They go down as far as they want. It just displays the first 5. So, but right now at the early phases, you're going to be displayed in the whole state, because we're onboarding as many as we can, and it's going very, very well, and we're increasing the speed of that. But now you have the ability to, even like for us in New York, we're seeing people even downstate, mid-state. We're central. You go to the Albany area, they can use us because, again, they can download and do their own signings. So just things to think about. Gives you a broader width, broader access.
Okay. Thank you. So what we're going to do is, it's 10:45. We go until 11. Britt, I'm putting all the faith back into your
I know.
internet, even though you're wired in. If you start
Yes.
sounding like a robot again, I will absolutely interrupt you and be like,
Just
Britt, we
cut
can't
me
hear
off.
you. However, what I would like to say is, if for some reason that we get robot Britt and we can't get through what you were going to show us, could you make the commitment to do a quick recording that we can send out to all of the participants on this call today?
Yes, absolutely. That's no problem.
All right, thank you for that commitment. All right, let's give it a shot.
All right, I'm going to stop my video again, but this all just worked. So let's see here. I'll share my screen. And okay, so this is kind of where we left off. So once you click on that client, our fake client, Mike York, you will get to this page, and it's the summary of all of his information. So everything he's entered, and now you haven't even accepted the engagement agreement yet. This client has filled out all of his information, and he has accepted the engagement. He reviewed it. He paid for the, he put in his credit card information. You have everything he's going to choose in his plan, including at the very bottom, all of the other people in roles. So in this one, he happened to have one other person named, but if it's, a married couple with kids, you would have all of these people named here. This is the new feature here where you will actually get to the bottom of this and decide, oh, wait, no, I can't represent him for X, Y, Z. We don't really anticipate that happening with estate planning. I know conflicts don't come up that much. So you will either hit accept or reject the engagement agreement and then continue on with your review of the plan. Before I show you what that looks like, just up here, one thing I want to point out, over on the side, you can also see what add-ons they've selected. So if he had business powers, and this is specific to New York, so you might not have these options in your state. You select any of those, back to the summary, or you can actually.
What? Brett, we lost you, Brett. We were doing so good.
We still see her, but we don't hear her.
I think she's frozen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, we
so
got a little further.
we got you a little further, so you could see the new feature, the engagement agreement, or the reject feature that was built into it. And for those of you that haven't seen the demo site yet, this is a sample of what the back end looks like. So you will be able to go and dabble around If you are interested, reach out to Tom Finnegan. You can message him right now or send him a quick email afterwards, and he will get you the directions to get you into the development site and look around. A couple other reminders for those that are members with the Guidr platform already, that we have a community listserv specifically for everyone that is on the Guidr platform. And through our relationship with LWP and Guidr, you have your own specific help desk feature. So again, if you are a member, you are familiar with our help desk feature, you go in, you tap a note, it could be anything. It could be anything Guidr related, from marketing to ops to tech, the legal questions, whatever it may be. And then our air traffic controllers, like we like to call them, will navigate where the questions go, and we will get you a response. So again, you have the listserv, you have the help desk. And for those of you that can't see your chat feature right now, Brittany is absolutely going to do a recording and circulate it to the group of participants. We do have Amanda Ross. I don't know if you're available, but we have access to everyone who's on this call. We have
And if you have questions for Brittany, she's still able to probably answer those.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I am here. Apparently my computer cannot handle sharing its screen though.
It's
Well, it went pretty well.
where you are. It's the internet. There's not enough juice.
It'll be good when they get all that satellite, right, Guy? When all this is done by satellite, then it doesn't matter where you are, if you're rural or not.
I was going to say our tech guy is probably cringing.
You need to have a word with Elon Musk and get the Starlink satellite service that he's offering now.
I guess so.
I've just signed up.
Mary Catherine, I see you're unmuted. Did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I just have a quick question, sort of a hypothetical. So I know, as being a paralegal, I cannot give legal advice. Excuse me. So if someone does a plan through Guidr, Tim, I'm aware of Tim going through the plan and maybe giving the client a few adjustments that need to be made. I'm aware of that. Tim asked them to do it. If they call and ask me questions about that, is that something that I guess the question I'm asking is the technical, it can kind of get from a technical question to maybe steering into the legal, where it's kind of a fine line where I might be sitting. So I guess I just.
Mary Catherine, I think you're asking an ethics issue. Are you referring to ethics?
Yes.
Mary Catherine. So Brittany and I it looks like my internet's a lot unstable now. Brittany and I had extensive conversations with the ethics attorney. Now, just so you understand, Mary Catherine, all the other lawyers, you as a paralegal absolutely unconditionally can be the one reviewing those things and approving it. It does not have to be the lawyer. It does not have to be the lawyer. Yeah. So you could check with your ethics attorney, but we've done it. Look, it is important that paralegals do 99% of the work, but they do it under the guidance of a lawyer. Right. Once the lawyer, what Tim's got to do is get comfortable what the platform does. What's beautiful about this, what we all have to remember, the platform is the simplest form of planning. Okay, very low risk. Bob and Mary, Jane and Bill, right? So it's just very simple documents. They really cannot be screwed up in theory, right? That's why we have some thoughts. Well, if you have someone that identifies they have a minor or disabled child and they don't pick a minor or disabled trust, that's still not wrong, but you may want to choose to send an email and say, look, we've approved this, but we really highly recommend you do X, Y, and Z. So as long as Tim's familiar with the platform and how it works and its capabilities and has properly guided you on how to do it, you are freely available under him to be doing that work for him, just like you can in all your other paralegal roles. And right, Brittany, we've talked extensively with ethics attorney around this, and that's a great conversation too. It does not require the attorney to be doing all this.
Can I just talk about expectations as well? People's expectations when they're using the internet is that they're offered a high quality service at a reasonable cost that is easy to use. And I believe Guidr is all of those things. So I don't think you will get many queries because it's pretty clear about what, you know, this thing is and what it does. It's really easy to use. It's basic wills. There's nothing too complex about it. The questions are explained. There's help information on there. You know, I'd be amazed if you get many queries about people using the system. And, you know, the attorney at the end of the process, if they're just doing the checks, or, you know, if it's the paralegal doing the checks, then again, really, and this goes to mindset now. The mindset of the lawyer should be at this point that, you know, nothing that's wrong should go through clearly. And if there's anything that's wrong, as Dave said, where it's obvious the user has picked the wrong thing, it's quite hard to do, but maybe they do occasionally will do that. But really, you know, there should be no requirement for personalization of this service. And that is a mindset thing. If someone wants a personalized service, they'll come to your office and they'll pay the extra money, and that's what they get. If they go through the self-service internet system, then their expectation is different. They're not expecting that personalized service. They're expecting a really simple user interface to do their business, and they want to get through it in 40 minutes while they're sat on the sofa watching a soap opera. You know, that's the way it works. We've seen it with car insurance. We've seen it with so many other sectors. We know how this works. So Guidr customers are probably slightly different. Their expectations are different. And actually, most of the problems are normally with the mindsets of the lawyers who just have to adapt to this new way of thinking. So, you know, let the consumer get on with it. Let them, you know, do everything as far as possible themselves. And I suspect 19 out of 20 people will not pester you one little bit. They'll just do the thing. You'll check it at the end of the process and you'll sign it off. And it's quite honestly, it's easy money. It's almost money while you sleep.
And just to tack on to that, Mary Catherine, so
Yes.
3 things that came up now between Dave and Guy. Hopefully I'll remember all 3 by the time I get done talking. First, to just echo what Dave said, that is correct. You can review the plan. The attorney is ultimately responsible for it. You know, the attorney is the one covered by malpractice and all of that. But
Right.
Tim has been, you know, there are LWP documents. So as long as he is familiar with those documents, you are fine to sign off on those. The second thing had to do with your advice over the phone for clients. So stick to your same rule that you've always known is you cannot give legal advice. If you think it's getting into legal advice, yeah, maybe don't do it. If you are reviewing factual things off of the screen and talking about that, that is fine. You're not recommending a plan or telling them what they need or what they need to do.
Right.
The last thing was with the signings. If they do a supervised signing, I know a lot of firms are saying, okay, the attorney was on the phone reviewing, let's say the attorney did do the 20-minute call. Hey, here's what I understand. Here's how this works. Then, okay, great. Come in. You'll be signing your documents with our paralegal, Mary Catherine. And the attorney doesn't take up any more attorney time. So I think that signing is a really nice way to get the other team members involved as well.
Right. Thank you. And I appreciate that from all of you. And I just wanted to add too that it's good to know that I can be more involved because I'm kind of the keeper of the keys for this for our firm. Because, you know, Tim's in meetings all day, you know, he has meetings all day, he's busy. You know, I don't have as many meetings. Therefore, if someone wants, you know, people, I think when they go online to do this, they want an immediate result. So therefore, if I'm going in there reviewing it, you know, on that same day, they're going to get an immediate result rather than having to wait a few days.
You can maintain that efficiency that people expect when they're utilizing the internet.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just let Tim know if he doesn't start advertising soon, I might have my firm start advertising Guidr out there.
I will. I think he's close.
Then you'll have to play catch up.
You're fine.
We're close, Dave. Believe me, I want to. Don't watch this.
I know.
Don't
Yes,
watch this, Tim.
I want Tim to watch this because this is true for in order to get paralyzed, right? Look, this is the bare bones, simplest thing, and it's really past all those tests. But each attorney does have to get comfortable. They have to.
Yeah.
Right.
Procrastination is banned, isn't it, Dave, for Guidr?
Yes, it is. Well, it's quick starts anyway, right?
So being responsible for everyone's time, we have 3 minutes left. I just wanted to open the floor to all our attendees. If there's any additional feedback, comments, questions that you would like to chime in on before we wrap it up. Tim, was it beneficial today? You could just give me a thumbs up, a sideways or a down. Awesome, I'm glad. And Thorpe, did it answer a lot of your questions? Thank you. Angela? All right, great. I
Well,
think
the
we
other
could
thing,
have
Lisa-
a lot of fun, Angela, with that
Lisa, if you
campaign.
could just in closing speak to one thing, because I think it's important for people to understand, if they said yes today,
Yeah.
it's still probably 30 to 60 days before they're up and running. Is that inaccurate, or what would it be? I mean, there's a process to get onboarded, to get
Okay,
your
so
system set up, the marketing going. I mean.
all
so-
right. So yeah, so right now we have 28 states that are active, ready for launch. Britt has that list, Tom has that list. We can get you that list of our 28 states. If you fall within those 28 states and you're like, yep, I want to go, you sign your user agreement with Guidr, you sign your agreement with Lawyers with Purpose, you start the onboarding process, and we will move as fast as you move. But if your paperwork is filled out, you go through the process with creating your URL, the platform, you go over to marketing, we get your website up and running. We've been flipping people within 5 days. It really comes down to how fast you want to move. The one thing that I will say is we will absolutely be able to get you up on your website. We have all the processes put in place. We have your best practices documentation. I can't stress enough about having a plan to bring it to market. You can't just, like Mary Catherine, they're well aware that they have the product and it's on their website, and they're not generating traffic off it yet because they don't have a plan. It's for those that have the mindset of, oh, I'm going to throw it up on my website and then miracles are going to happen and they're just going to flood to my website. That's not the case. So we can get you up in 5 days, move as fast as you can move. Please have your marketing plan and path and plan in place. You have the Guidr marketing team at your fingertips to help you start that. And for the rest of the states that are not ready, we've been encouraging those that want to get Guidr for your platform and your state is not ready, that you go through the complete process of getting set up, except for turning it on live because it's not ready. However, when that time comes, when your state is ready for launch, all we have to do is hit activate and you're ready to go. So a little bit of pre-planning done ahead of time. So I hope that answers everyone's questions. And
I
it's
think the
left
key
on
part
top.
there is the marketing strategy and plan becomes critical.
That is extremely critical, and it's extremely critical. One thing that we've been learning through all of this, so my marketing team and I, we've been getting a lot of feedback of people that are wanting to utilize quote unquote the free stuff. So there's a lot of different free things that you can do for checks and balances. So my marketing team and I are creating a implementation plan of quote unquote the free stuff, which will, once that's launched, it will be put into the marketing toolkit and into the best practices. But there's definitely worth the conversation with regards to what are you doing and how you doing it and who is doing it. And that's very important to the success of the platform and your law firm. So, okay, I'm 1 minute over. Thank you everyone for your time. I greatly appreciate it. Guy, Dave, Britt, thanks for joining us. And Britt, we will look forward to your video. Thank you for recording it, and we'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.